Good morning, good evening, good day, whatever time it is for you in particular. Happy Beltane. It's officially May 1st, and I 100% forgot to make my It's Gonna Be May post, so shame on me. Absolutely terrible. Couple stream update things today. Nothing's really moved, but everything's gonna look a hell of a lot brighter, so hopefully this will look a little bit better for y'all screens like it does on mine. And also, I didn't realize how loud the music was. I went back and watched that last VOD, and I was like, oh, that's unfortunate. So hopefully it's not quite as loud today. But also, speaking of the VODs, I did set up a YouTube channel, so I can start cross-posting things over there. And I uploaded the last VOD. I was a weenie head and made it private, so I get a little bit more gusto. I'll go ahead and make that public, and I already stuck it in a playlist, so as soon as I hit the button, poof, it'll be there and ready to go. Because I do want to start actually documenting this stuff. YouTube is a big platform, and at the end of the day, I'm a weenie head. But it's okay, because we're going to do things scared, and we're going to do them anyways. Let me think. Any other updates from last time? I had 20 billion hopes and dreams to pre-record me working on this, and then I had the most exhausting week of my life. I was dead and dying, and now I know why. It's because I forgot the full moon was today, so it's okay. Other than that, I finished reading a book this past week I was going to tell you guys about, and I left it in the other room, but it's called The Diary of an Oxygen Thief, and it's written by Anonymous. No idea who this man is, but man had problems. How do I describe this book to you? So it is a literal journal of a man, and it starts off with him just like, I love to hurt girls' feelings, like emotionally. I want them distraught and terrified, and I'm like, this is terrible, but also psychologically stimulating. I'm gonna keep reading it. And he got his comeuppance by the end of it, so it was okay. But 'twas a read, and I got it from my sister because she's working on her own personal library of just heavy books, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna take a break. I'm gonna go read my little fiction poo. What did she give me? She gave me a 3-part book series to go through. The first book is The Bear and the Mockingbird. I can't remember the author's name. I was like, I'm just gonna read that a little bit. And then we went to the library the other day, and I found 2 books, and one's titled Why Do I Keep Doing This? And it felt very relevant for me. And I sent my sister a picture of part of the text in the first chapter, and I was like, girl, why are my feelings hurt already? And she was like, girl, where's the fiction? So the fiction's back on the top of the book pile, because I need to take a break mentally. Wild. Other than that, it's been a good week. We've been in a crazy drought, and we finally got a significant amount of rain, so the ground's been wet for 2 days. Very good. We are still very much in a burn restriction, which I had to double check because it is Beltane. So happy Beltane for those who celebrate, if I didn't already say it. If I did, double blessings upon you and your family. Even if I didn't. Because I do celebrate. Not always. I don't always remember to do it promptly, but I did this time, so woohoo. But today is part 2 of working on this 2018 reprint of the 1960s apron pattern, and we are working on the half apron. So if you weren't here last time, hang on, there we go. I forgot there's a lag. We're working on the blue one down here, and I don't know if you guys can see or not, but there is a squiggly red ribbon on here, and it is the one thing I don't technically have for this pattern. And we're still gonna do it anyways with what I've got, because I didn't see it until I got done reading the notions after I cut everything out. That was like, you need rickram, which is for my 80s kids probably know what this is. 90 kids may or may not know what this is. Everyone 2000s and plus, if you had sewers in your family, you probably do. If not, but Rick Ram is the whooshy ribbon that used to be on all of our clothes. I don't have any Rick Ram. I don't have the energy to deal with Rick Ram. I have leftover ribbon from the dress. We'll be using this. Also, jump scare about my head being shaved. I had to get it. Well, I didn't get it redone. I did it tonight in a whopping 5 minutes flat. So, if it's not straight, I don't want to know. I want to live in my delusion that I shaved it straight. Thank you for respecting my wishes at that point. So, ideally, I don't know how much of this we're going to get done tonight. It's not a very big pattern. There's not a lot to it. But I'm also taking you guys through it. And that's going to slow the process down just a smooch. So, that's right. I need Apron View 2. I still haven't gotten iron. Still haven't gotten any kind of press. And that's okay. It's just not been a priority for me this week. I've got other things to do and worry about. Like big girl bills. But anywho's it's yes. I see your rig rack trim, and I raise you folding a ribbon over the edge. Press under upper edge. Trim. Stitch upper edge. Okay, so we're gonna read the instructions for the rig ram, and I'm just gonna replace the word rig ram with ribbon, and it's gonna be okay because I said so. So press under 5/8 on the upper edge of the pocket. We are going to do a rough press with our minds, and probably my warm cup of tea will do the trick. And then we're going to trim it, and then stitch upper edge of pocket over center of ribbon. I see now why I suggest. Oh, okay, well now I know how to use ribbon. So I'm going to try and show you guys this picture. But when it says stitch over the center, you're literally putting the fabric right in the center of the ribbon, which sounds like an absolute pain in the butt. Which again, makes me very glad that we're going to do it my way today. So what we're going to do instead is either, I don't know if I want to wrap the ribbon around it or just we're going to do a wrap around. Otherwise it's going to look stupid, or it's going to texturally bother my hands going in and out of the pockets. And the packet is piece number. Let's remember together. Okay, that is the waistband. We're going to hope this ribbon is long enough, because I have a spawn I love very much that has decided cutting things is her new favorite sport, and shame on me for leaving it out. Did I even leave it out? I don't know. There's a 50-50 shot she pulled it out of my notions bag. Anyways, she did a very good job cutting lots of little pieces, and I think she left one piece that is just long enough to get the job done. So here's hoping. Alright, so okay, that's the big piece, because this has to be the pocket piece, because I made sure to cut the pocket piece with the cool border on the bottom, so that way when it's done we can actually see the border. Otherwise it's just going to be like a bunch of picnic fabric, which is fine. The picnic fabric looks great, but I really like the border. So that is where it must go. And this ribbon is so not long enough. I love being a parent. I just want to put that out there. I love it. I love it very much. There are moments. There are moments. So, what do we do? What do I have? Because that's going to look really ugly with the raw edge. It's not how the apron was designed to be, so I don't want to leave it that way. So, what to do? I have this orange, but it's really bright in comparison. That is some kind of cherry blossom thing that I grabbed from the granny stash. Decisions. We have very limited decisions. You know what? We could just be brave. We could just be brave and use this really bright orange. Because I do think it'll actually make the orange that's in the border pop out more. It could be my delusion and just the lighting in here too. So this is the orange we've got to work with, which actually doesn't look too bad on the camera. And I think I'm gonna put it up against, like, obviously it's a lot brighter than the border itself, but I think it'll work with the other things. I think it'll be fine. Worst case scenario, I am not afraid to coffee stain it once it's already sewn together with a paintbrush and just, and it'll be fine. It will be fine. So that can go in tiny peanut stash. Measure out what we need for this. I don't know why my station just looks so freaking cluttered today. I think it's because I haven't sat over here in a few days. I had to move my work laptop over to the kitchen table for a little bit. For no real apparent reason other than just to change the scenery. And the orange cat loves when I sit over there because I can scooch the other dining room chair closer to my hip. And then whenever I get bored, I just look at him and go pet pet. And he goes, meow. And then he goes back to sleep. And it's very cute. Also important development. We made it to the farmer's market last Saturday. And I got more honey, which sounds like a very small, exciting thing, but it is. Oh, it's cat noise. Okay. The most exciting thing, because the honey dealer they have at our local farmer's market has 6 different varietals of honey. 6, I kid you not. Because I've always just had, wildflower honey. That's what you normally have in the store and stuff, right? Or I got an orange blossom one time. It must have been from Teeter. I don't know. I'm gonna assume it was from Teeter. And like the first time I talked to him, he was like, "Well, which one do you want?" I was like, "What the fuck do you mean which one? What do you mean which one do I want? I have choices. I can choose. What?" He was like, "Yeah. Would you like to sample them?" Sir, say less. Like, love honey. Love honey. And he was like, "Okay, well, here's your standard wildflower." And I was like, "All right, cool. This is good." It tasted like what I expect wildflower honey to taste like, which is very good. It's lightly floral, not very in your face. Again, it's what you would get at the grocery store. Okay? I'm gonna assume I can just cut this to size and give myself about half an inch extra. Like that. So gave me that one to try. I was like, okay, woohoo, love. And then he goes, how do you feel about cotton honey? I was like, you made honey from a cotton plant? Like, yeah? He's like, yeah. I was like, yeah, I want it. Okay, yeah. And it was really good. A little bit more impactful, had a little bit more punch. And it's got a little bit more depth of flavor because it's coming from just a solitary plant. And what else did he have? He had purple aster, which was really like a punch to the taste buds. It was really good. I would want it with a charcuterie board. I would not want it by itself. And again, it was very good. A lot at one time on its own. But again, some goat cheese, something crumbly. What was that cheese I got the other day? A Stilton, maybe? Super salty crackers. I'll have to think about a fruit pairing. But it would need either seasoned in general crackers or really salty meat selection to kind of cut through how dense it is. Very nice. And what else? What else did he have? Purple aster. Not Japanese maple. Crepe myrtle. The crepe myrtle was an odd flavor. It wasn't my favorite. And there were two other ones that I just can't. One or two other ones. It's just not ringing a bell to me what they were. I ended up getting the cotton one. And it was absolutely delicious. Now I see the reason why it wanted everything trimmed up for the rip-rack. I have a very uneven edge because I did not cut this very straight the other night. So I'm going to fussy cut this straight. Just gonna fussy cut it straight a little bit. Just to give myself a clean-ish edge to work with. So I'm not guesstimating the whole time. And if you're real big on measuring twice, cutting once, this ain't not a place to be. We're doing what we can with what we got. And what I got is a cup of hot tea and about an hour and a half left of time. You can hear additional noises. It's the cats there. Terrors amongst themselves. They both said they were not feeling camera ready right now. That's okay. The stars must have their time to relax. Alright, so here's the grand master plan. To me, one side of this ribbon just looks a little bit closer to the color we have in the apron, and so I'm going to just make sure that color is up. But this is it. This is the plan. We are genuinely just folding the ribbon over the top and calling it good. And we're going to pin the mess out of it as we go. This is my grand solution to life problems. Pretty darn good if you ask me. But I hope everyone has had a wonderful week so far. You're getting everything your heart desires in life. And if you haven't gotten it yet, I hope it is on the way. that way, so when I sew this, I'm not stabbing myself the whole time. And am I measuring this? No. Not even a little bit. Because, especially with hems and stuff, I have the best luck with just doing it. Just doing it, not really measuring anything. That's how I did the dress, which if we have time, I might alter that with you guys on here. So the dress is done. I have pictures posted on Blue Sky, so everyone knows it's real and it is actually a true thing. But somehow I twisted one of the straps and I didn't realize it until I was done. Done wearing it, about to leave the house. Trifled, to say the least. And then the other strap is, somehow I sewed it on there at an angle and it is loosey-goosey. So I've got to undo both of the straps at the back. I don't need to worry about the front, thank goodness. And while I did sew them on there with effort, like, if you've ever seen, I don't even know if they sew straps like this anymore, but I remember I used to have some kind of tank top. Maybe it's because it was well-endowed people. But, excuse me, on the straps, it had almost like a rectangle, tacking it in, and then an X in the middle of it to help support the structure, I guess. And I did 2 lines this way to keep it down. So the good news is I've only got two lines of stitches to deal with. The rough news is I went over it 5 times. So I'm sure it will not be the easiest seam rip of my life. The good news is it should be the last seam rip I have to really do on this particular garment. Because everything else right now fits great-ish. I am very glad that I made the seams on that dress the way that I did, because I have seam lines like right at the apex of the bust, darts, and then also seam here and another seam on the other side, because I have such a hard time with the way my body is angled and curved and stuff, getting top pieces to fit without having 20 billion little sections. And your girl's starting to show the gains a little bit, and I was pinching and pulling in a couple of areas to see what would need to come in first, and the great thing is I don't think I'll have to seam rip anything. I'm pretty sure all I'm gonna have to do is just stitch a little bit more in with curve, and it'll be good. Because if I have to undo anything on that dress, I might cry. I'll have big feelings about it. Very big feelings. Big feelings are okay. Highly support having your big feelings. I don't know if y'all can hear that, but there's tiny little elephants running through the kitchen. Little like 10, 15 pound elephants just having a freaking ball. And if you're looking for the doggo is in bed. She is absolutely butt tired. Oh yeah, I've been sleeping like crap. I don't know if anyone else had really weird dreams leading up to the full moon this time. I woke up sobbing one morning and made myself go back to sleep to try and catch 30 minutes of not crying in my sleep. And it wasn't even like anybody died. It was just weird. I was younger, driving my car, and something caught my eye off on the corner, and I ended up driving all the way into this couple's shop, just through the front door up to the register. Terrible. And I got out of the car, I'm in shock, and the husband, like the wife, just immediately starts berating me. I was like, great. And then the husband came up to me and was like, it's okay, you're gonna be okay, it's fine. And I'm just sitting there, like, looking at everything going, I'm never gonna financially recover from this, and just started sobbing in my dream. And I started sobbing so hard I woke up crying. And I can't remember the last time that happened. I don't know what that was about. I've been sleeping a lot better since then. Also been doing other things to help calm my nerves pre-bed. Drinking a lot more tea, trying to drink my caffeine a little earlier in the day, just in case. You never know. I say I'm pinning it this way so I don't stab myself too much, and here I am, repeatedly stabbing myself. But it's okay. It just means I won't stab myself when I put it under the sewing machine. Let's see. What other updates do I have? Oh, the sewing pattern came in for my mini-me's raincoat. And I should have asked before I bought it what the fabric was that was needed for the thing. Because I didn't realize it was going to be you need vinyl for this pattern. Because you know it's really hard to find reasonably priced, like not a freaking arm and a leg. I think I just bled on this. Oh well, I'm wearing it, not y'all. Freaking classic yellow vinyl for raincoat. I mean, like, if anyone knows, like, true, plain, not snake skin, not gator skin, I don't need a weird gauge, just, like, if you've seen it, or seen trailers, commercials, whatever, and the little boy with the little yellow jacket, that's what I'm trying to create here. Can't freaking find it. I found marine vinyl. You know? Oh, my fingers are cold as well. Which is fine, but it's got that weird, like, texture. I don't want that. She's definitely not gonna want that. I was just so bummed out. I'm like, you know, there's always the internet. I don't try. You know, certain corporate website, whatever, but like, trying to buy more stuff from like wholesale, actual places, you know, just trying to do this right. And this is the part where I realized I wanted to top stitch it anyways, and everything is technically pinned on the wrong side. So we're gonna be real creative about pulling the pins out. It's okay. I've done sillier things on here. Y'all watch me sew a friggin' cow upside down. Not that serious. I cannot be taken that seriously. Right now. Catch me on another day. listen to this lo-fi essentials with you guys, the more I'm really into it. This is not a bad cleanliness. So before I toss this on there, it's a really bright orange. I'm probably gonna have to go back and stain it. Or we embrace it for what it is, aggressively colorful. And I do have enough of the orange ribbon left over that if I wanted to use it for the bandanas that it comes with, because there are bandana patterns in this too, or if I'm feeling super frisky and decide to do an upper mitt, which probably not, because that's going to require me getting stuff to make it, you know, an oven mitt for the zhuzh that's going to have to go on the inside. I'm like, it's a lot. It's a lot I'd have to go through and get. I don't know about that life. We are in the business of using what we got. Almost forgot to turn the lights down. That would have been some crazy stitch work. I'm not going to backstitch this a lot. I'm just going to backstitch it a little bit because the edge of this is going to end up getting looped into the back piece, the actual apron piece. I don't know how we're calling that. They are pouncing now. That's what that foul noise was. This is the most inefficient thing I've ever done, but the stitches are straight, so we can't complain too much. There we go. A little bit more sewing machine for you. Alright, it looks pretty stinking cute. Alright. Still gonna sew really freaking slow so I don't mess this up. Slowish. Okay, well I'm missing some of the back element of these things. That's okay. I'm just gonna stop where we're at. Not force things. Because I missed the entire back side of the ribbon. All we're gonna do is we're just gonna back up a hair, line everything back up. And stitch a little bit closer to the top of the orange square, or no, bottom of that orange square, versus the top of the white one. That is just enough difference. Right? Right. Good, 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 good. Woo! It's close, but it's on there. And that's what matters. Close enough. I should have known because I had my finger on it. I can feel it underneath where it's actually hitting at, but I forgot I was talking about the fabric and the raincoat thing. So the fabric that I did order, I got ripstop. Because my little human that I created likes to tear it up. We are a puddle jumping house. We're gonna go play in the rain house. We're play in the dirt. So ripstop is relatively important to our lives. But the thing is, the way ripstop hangs, think about windbreakers, camping bags. Hiking book bags. Ripstop. It's not gonna hang the same as vinyl. So I am at a place where I have to decide if I'm going to try and use the ripstop anyways. Because I bought it, I paid for it, it should be here tomorrow. I bought it, I paid for it, it should be here tomorrow. Do I just go ahead and use the ripstop? Do I attempt to keep searching for the vinyl of my dreams for this raincoat? These are all decisions that I will probably be making at some point tomorrow after the fabric gets here and I can really look at it, feel it, get an idea for the texture, and if I really want to try and do it. Because honestly, the biggest issue that I'm foreseeing right now, other than lining it, which I do have somewhere in my stash of goods, just things that I think would be okay to line it with. So I'm pretty confident that I'm good there. It's just how the fabric's gonna hang. Or I could look for another pattern. But I feel like I could alter it to work with the ripstop. In my heart and soul, I feel like I can, because the biggest issue that I foresee is just the sleeves. Because like, think about your old school traditional vinyl raincoats when you were a kid. The sleeves are just like open. There's space here, which doesn't make sense for a freaking raincoat, because you're gonna get rain in your sleeves. And I think I can alter the sleeves to have cuff, and those have the raincoats are really long, and I'm sure I can shorten it to hit closer to waistline. And do an elastic band. I think I have enough chutzpah and audacity and belief in myself to make that happen. So we'll see. Alright, so that is step one. We have replaced Rick Graham with this orange ribbon because I could not be bothered. And honestly, it's not bad. It's on there. Like I said, I can always take a paintbrush and coffee stain it at my leisure. Yeah. Okay. So step one is, gosh dang it, just about done. There's one spot I need to go back and hit where it just didn't quite catch the back. It's not good. A little bit when I do this. Back. Okay, well I got half of it. Not the other half. Wild behavior on my part. Oh, I see why I did that now. It's because the ribbon came over just a hair more than it probably should have. In my perfect world, that is where pocket's gonna be. And we're just gonna stitch over that and make it all better. In my perfect world. So this one spot. Good now? Are we good now? Yes, okay. Phew! Alright, well if any part of this comes apart first, it ain't gonna be that spot. It's gonna be somewhere else. Alright. Now, actually, step 1 is done. To the instructions. I feel like we're about to be in for a lot of pinning. I'm just gonna shut that off for a second. Alright, so for this one, that is the only difference between apron 1 and apron 2. Other than apron 1 does have a top piece. But now, I get to flip around this way. It's complete apron, same as V1, starting with step B in unit 1 through unit 2. Okay. That was a lot of letters and stuff. Basically, we go back to the other pattern, and we're just going to start it from way down here. Which is pinning the apron to the pocket, which I said this last time because I read through the instructions at the very end of the last video, which I will be brave and make public on YouTube this week. I promise. And it reads weird because we're going to pin the right side of the fabric of the pocket to the wrong side of the apron because it's going to wrap up. I used to do theater. You think I'd be better at not directing with my camera facing hand. It's been a long time. I miss it dearly. Okay. Alright, I'm reading ahead too much. We're going to pin first the right side of the pocket to the wrong side of the apron, matching centers and small dots, having raw edges either. Okay, so in our annotated marks on the fabric, I need this piece first because I'm actually going to put back notes on this one. Also very important to make sure you know where your top and bottom is, by the way. Okay. I'm very certain that is the bottom of this is towards me, which should match the picture situation. Okay. Alright, we're going to take that off for a second. And hooray, huzzah, all of my little notations pins are still on here to the best of their ability. Slide. Okay. So just want the flat edge. Okay. Pin, matching centers and small dots. Okay. Okay. The small dots that are like in the middle. We're gonna do the center first. And then we flip it, and then it flips over the rest of the way. Okay, everything makes sense. I promise. This might look really silly when I show it to you. I promise it's okay. All right, we're gonna pin the center down first. Left to right. It's gonna get 2 pins because right now I'm feeling a little anxious. 2 pins is not gonna hurt us. I can go down there for a minute. Okay. See if I can get this up. So the bigger piece at the back is part B. This is the pocket part up here. So we're doing the right side of the pocket is to the wrong side of this, and what's going to happen is it's going to flip down and curl back around, and it'll be the right way up. I pinky promise. I have a lot of faith in this pattern because it's a reprint from the 60's. It's got to be good, right? They wouldn't reprint a terrible pattern. I would hope. Up the other center line further up. Should be about right there. I am going to make sure this is flat, that I'm not crinkling anything funky. Oh yeah, that's right, the center line's gonna be on the, no, it's just whatever. I think the idea is if the top edges are straight, the rest of this is going to be fine. That's my personal running theory at the moment. Ooh, that cold air's hitting my leg. I forgot I had the windows open. Freakishly cold outside. If it's not apparent to you lot right now, I am a warm weather friend. Don't get me wrong, I like the cold. I love the winter. I love. But it's May. I would like it to be warm outside. They did start cleaning the pools. At the park today. So pin it across the top. Alright. The instructions felt weird. And so I just wanted to check. The instructions are just weird. I also think there's a slight probability that some of my markings are not 100% accurate. Which is why I did the center first. So also got notches down here that I can line up too. And something else that I have to remember with the top of the bigger piece is it is going to be gathered. So I can't really rely on, oh, well, the edges all match up perfectly fine. Remember, it's not how this pattern's gonna go at all. It's not its intended design. I can assure you. Here's a dot. There was probably a dot there at some point. Just can't see anymore. This is one thing that got me tripping. So in my perfect world, we're going to pin this down and everything's going to look beautiful, marvelous. And then we can stitch. And tonight, folks, I think we're winning. Right. Okay. I might have to stand up and close this for those. Alright, so we have the pocket attached to the big piece. Right side to wrong side. Now we can, it says to stitch side and lower edges. Aye, aye, Captain. How am I going to do this so I don't stab myself? What is going to be the most sensible way to go about this? I think if I go... this way. No, I want to go the other way. Yes, this is the way. I haven't seen any of The Mandalorian. I just really like that scene. Shame on me, I know. I do enjoy the original Star Wars. All of them. Yes, all of them. Yes, even that one. I have mild issues with the ending of crap. The last one they made with Rey in it. I can't remember the name. That tells you how much I cared. I was so happy. And then I was so sad. And then I had to go through the 7 stages of grief. Or no, there's only 5. I probably went through 7. Probably doubled up on 2 of them. I was just not... I wasn't thrilled. I was saddened. I don't like it when my movies make me sad. Alright, now, the instructions originally said was otherwise notated. It's a 5/8 of an inch. And it also said it on the actual pattern pieces. It's like, for the love of all things good and holy, please, we beg you. First thing we're doing. This is fine. I had to convince myself that I wasn't actually like sewing the whole pocket to the back. It's fine. I have to go all the way up the side. It's fine, she says as her eye twitches egregiously. Everything's fine. lots of the sun's gonna stick inside you. Sorry. Now we can all suffer together. Hooray! Not as bad as someone going, you lost the game. Sue me for that. I don't care. I care a lot. Please don't sue me. But I haven't gotten anyone in so long. And if you don't understand what it means, I'm not going to explain it to you, because then you have to play the game. And if you look it up, you then know the rules of the game, you have to play the game. If you don't know, you're better off living in ignorance. Personal project I'm gonna try and work on is a dress. Another dress. I know. I love dresses. I hated them as a kid. Despised. Ugh. Now I'm grown up and I can make my own dresses. Suddenly everything's all better now. Use the patterns that I have now. So as much fun as making my own was, I would like to make a pattern dress this time. That's okay. One or two different options I can go with, and I'm definitely leaning towards this maxi dress, because I think it'll be super fun to make and do along with you guys. I almost think my attention can stand to be tight a little bit more, but I'm kind of scared to do it right now. I see it because I'm sitting here watching my thread flap in the wind. It's not bad. I don't think it's a problem right now. It could be a problem for future gen. Future gen is future gen's problem. Alright, we have stitched around the edges and the bottom. And we're going to have to do a little bit of cleanup on all fronts between thread and also trimming excess fabric off the edge. Alright, hello! Thank you for following. Happy to have you here. I am in the middle of things. Hang on, I'm slightly concerned that I just did not follow the instructions, but we're going to find out here pretty soon. I am working on a reprint pattern from McCall's. It is a 1960s that was reprinted in 2018 of aprons and stuff. And I'm working on this half one down here. And we're probably not going to finish it tonight, just looking at where I am right now. But after this, we've got, it has bandana patterns in here. Wow, bandana patterns in here too, in little bags. I don't know if we're going to make everything in here or not. I certainly am not going to get the equipment to make oven mitts right now because I have about 12 oven mitts in my house. I'm good. Promise. But let me unpin this part and I'll kind of show you where we're at. So the instructions were like, pin the right side of the pocket to the wrong side of the apron bit. So that's where we're at right now. I just finished stitching it around the edges. And we're gonna do a little bit of trim work and then flip it around. Yeah, it's crazy. It is mind-boggling. I remember watching my grandma do this stuff when I was little. And now I'm here doing it now, and this is one of the greatest joys in life for me personally. It's pretty top tier stuff. But I also did, let me see if I can get it down without looking it up. Last week I didn't finish it on stream because I was so excited about getting it done, but I posted final pics on my Blue Sky. I did make this super cool dress and I did a self pattern for it. Back it up. I did racerback stripes, so it's like kind of a pain in the butt to figure out where the middle is. But I did this from a self pattern, and I'm very proud of this one because it's the first one that I actually completed all the way, and I don't hate how it came out. Very fun. And I was thinking about fixing the straps on that today, but I don't know if we're gonna have time for that because I managed to twist one of them, and the other is jacked. Ah, thank you. I love it. I pilfered this fabric off of my mom because she wasn't going to use it, and we thought we were going to use it for a quilt backing because I have this really cute farm blanket I've been working on too. It's real cute little farmhouse squares. I happen to have it sitting down here, but it's like a little silly pattern, but there's cows and chickens and pigs. You can't go wrong. And I was thinking about using it for a back for this, and then I had it sitting in front of me one day, and I was like, no, this wants to be clothes. I need to wear this on my body because the border was just, it was so cute. And it came out really pretty, and I still have a bunch left over, so I don't know what else I'm going to do with it. I've got scraps for making the dress that I'm going to use to, I think, make at least one bandana out of this pattern set too. This is missing instructions. It was. I firmly believe that some fabric wants to be certain things, okay? So this wanted to be clothes. It had a great pattern, it had a great system, it needed that in its life. It's like making pots out of clay. Like you see it, and because I've heard some people say that that's how it feels to make pottery or make clay figures, is you look at it and you go, this wants to be this specific thing, and then they build it out of nothing, and that's kind of what it feels like. One day I'll say the same thing about crochet. It's not today though. And I do crochet as well. I just not in the warm seasons. I can't get it together to crochet in the warm seasons. The yarn's hot, and then the yarn's got to sit on me. I don't want to deal with that. Okay, it does not articulate all of the instructions. It does want me to trim the edges, and then we have to do a little bit of snips to make sure it lays properly. I cannot express to you how stressful this is because, okay, something I learned about these stupid, like, crap, what is this? I forgot. I said it, I forgot. Yeah, it's simplicity. They assume you know a lot. Like, that's okay, but that may be why you don't see your sister crocheting these days. It's just, it's hard. It's hard to get in the mood to crochet when it's warm outside. I worked on a bunch of, I worked on some scarves last year. No, not scarves, hats. Goodness. That was dangerously close to my stitch. Okay. Hats. I started practicing how to make socks. And then I found some old knitting needles, tried that. I like my old cross-stitch situation. It depends on the piece. If I had to put an hour to that dress, for example, because it's done, I would say it probably took, including pattern, piecing, mistake fixing, everything, probably close to 12 hours. I worked on it for, I think, 5 hours straight the last day I worked on it. And trying to get everything perfect, between putting it on, inside out, pinning it to get things to set where I want it to, taking it off, coming back out here, stitch, putting it back on, going, well, that's not right. And so it takes a while. That being said, I also did some of it while I was streaming. So, mistake fixing. You know, fixing the boobies. But yeah, like, it took a while. It's also the first full piece that I just freeballed and went, yeah, it'll be alright. This one, I'm actually trying to do it quote-unquote the right way. You know, like I have two brain cells to rub together, which I promise I do. Just don't always use them. Yeah, I feel very strongly that I can cut all the way around this and not muck it up. I'm always telling my fabric scissors got used for something else because they just don't always want to do right anymore. No, sir, you can't be on that. Don't you put holes in my head, please. Here's an orange cat down there choosing to be a silly man. So right now I just do it for me. I daydream about selling it because I don't love my day job. I train AI models, and I don't love it. I'm not like, I don't love it. But it pays the bills. That being said, this brings me joy. This makes me happy. And this makes me not want to, like, I don't know how much I can sound here without getting modded out, but it makes me want to be nice to people, and I think that's important. So I would love to just stream and do this full time. Right, who does? That's the real question. Okay, you get it! It's terrible, and God help us if the everything's doing just the worst job ever, and look at the same project for a week, 2 weeks at a time. I'm like, y'all, can you please do something different? It is actively sucking the life out of my soul. Okay, I think I was actually supposed to trim the top of the big part too. So I'm gonna show you this, and then I'm gonna flip it back around, and then I'll trim the rest of it. But we now kind of have a pocket on the front. Hooray! At some point, I'm not sure at what point in this, we will put seams here and here-ish to make 3 individual pockets. Because if nothing else, they did make sure a woman had pockets in this thing. It was great for the 60s, but you know. Amazing. Okay. Amazing. Alright. So we need to flip this back around, trust the process a little bit more, and cut the top edge of the other thing. Right. I barely use it in my personal life outside of work, and I definitely say please and thank you. That's just helps me stay sane, but alright. It's not that I don't trust myself. I just also believe in doing hard things the easiest way possible. Great. I folded it in half so I can measure this out. Yeah, and I mean we'll have stuff where it's like you can't use any large language models on this, whatever. And then they'll be like, okay, please use something to do this, please, thank you. Okay, whatever you say. You're handing me the $1, so okay. Yeah, and I started, I had a subscription for a while to Data Camp because I was learning Python, and then I switched over to SQL for a little bit. And, sir, if you don't mind, I'm going to shame you on the camera. Shame. Shame for putting holes in my pattern pieces. Okay. There you go. Yeah. No, it's crazy, and specifically on the writing front. So I am a frequenter of AO3, and you will probably find this interesting on the writing spec, but I noticed that they started putting in things where we need to look at creative writing stuff. They've started putting rules in for M dashes and started explicitly saying you have to put in the Oxford comma, and it made me laugh because I was scrolling through Reddit and someone in the AO3 subreddit was like, y'all, at least we still have the Oxford comma, and I'm like, no, you don't. I'm so sorry for your loss, but no. It hurt. It hurt my soul. There. I would like out as soon as possible. I'm also very aware it's going to take a while. I would also like to leave the country at some point. I have a lot of wants and desires. Ugh. I know. I love an Oxford comma. It brings me joy. But I don't know. I still think there will be good tells. Sometimes I think it's harder to tell in writing than it is to tell on a picture, because I do also follow the "is this AI subreddit?" Some of the stuff that gets posted, I'm like, y'all have brain cells. Why is this even a question? And then some stuff I'm like, yeah, no, okay, I see why you have to question that. Yeah, like I have a Google phone, and every now and again I'll ask my thing to set an alarm or remind me something for a recipe because my hands are dirty and I literally can't touch my phone. Other than that, it is not for me. Yay, the gathering part. I hate it. Not on LinkedIn. I mean, LinkedIn almost struck me as kind of a grimy place to be at. Granted, I have a LinkedIn. I don't use it for anything except just... No, nothing. I haven't used it for anything productive since I made an account. How are we doing that? Okay, hold on. I need to read this one quick. Together. Press pocket. Oh, it didn't want me to flip it over yet. You know what? It was gonna ask me in a step anyways, I don't care. So we're just gonna flip it around and do our gather to jump back. Okay, we're gonna reconcile the seam eventually after we gather it. Okay. But yeah, I don't use my LinkedIn for anything whatsoever, but that really annoys me. On a deeply profound level, that annoys me. Because there's no reason. Like, the whole point of LinkedIn is for people to communicate with each other, right? And network. It's a networking thing. And you complain about your job. And occasionally post jobs, because sometimes I'll get job updates for dumb stuff. Like, it used to have a purpose. I'm not crazy. Yeah. That's so stupid. 4/8 is, wait. 2/8 is a quarter. I swear I was really good at math in school. I took calculus for fun, but basic fractions will be the end. Yeah, do you find it useful for screening applications? Like, do you feel like you're ever missing anything when you go through it? Your 5-paragraph essay, ew. Who the fuck does that? Full bottom, got it. Also, what do you mean people are putting emojis in their essays? What? Who does that? Okay, well that's good. Because I remember seeing something somewhere, heck, maybe it even was on LinkedIn, and people were like, what if they're using that, they're missing all the good candidates because the AI, yeah. I'm like, is that even a real concern? Oh, that's an unfortunate amount. How far was I supposed to gather this? Heavy thread on the bobbin. I promise you it's heavy thread because it's labeled as bobbin threads. So I'm just doing what we're doing. To actually show you what's happening right now, we have to gather the top of this. So I put in a basting stitch across the top, which is just, it's a very long stitch. So normally they're really short together, T, 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 T. This one is like poof, poof, poof. So we're gathering it to make a little like a ruffle type situation. Not the professor. That's so disappointing. That's so disappointing. I actually made a model the other day go through, explain to me why AI is bad for schools. It's just like making it talk crap about itself way, but make sure I didn't gather this too much, because that is also a possibility. I was not paying attention to where any of my dots are. Yeah, I had some of my teachers on Facebook, but I deleted my Facebook for Lent. Not for any particular religious reason. I just really needed an excuse, and I was like, oh yeah, Lent's coming up. I'll give up social media. And deleted everything except for Reddit and Blue Sky, because I use that to post my stuff on, but so worth it. My life has been so freeing. I actually have to look up the news when I want to see it. And I get really minimal AI slap now. Okay. We gathered. Press pocket to outside. I don't have an iron or a presser or anything useful for that. Matching all dots. Sure. Stitch along stitching lines and across the upper edge. But then I won't have pockets. Hold on. I'm supposed to close the middle pocket? Over my dead body? Screw you, 1960s pattern. It's still gonna have 3 pockets because I said so. I'm not doing that. Oh, dude, it was the best. I still have Facebook Messenger. Because there's like 2 people where that's the only way they really message me. I should just say screw and tell them no. Give the other one my cell phone number and call it a day. But it's just not worth it. And I'm friends with some people from high school still, and I kind of care about these people, but also I just, we're all doing our own thing now, and my life is greatly deviated from the original plot line and no longer aligning with any of their plot lines. Maybe 3 of them. Just not enough. Not enough to justify keeping it. Gather upper edge of apron between small dots. Well, I gathered it like I felt like it, which that looks pretty darn good to me. Good enough. I can always take the gathers out later. Correct. I do have 1 or 2 friends that I need to text, and I just haven't gotten around to it, but it's actually a very good point. So I do have like 2 friends that we text on and off sporadically, and I was the last person not to text back, to be very honest with you. I am currently in ghost mode, which is not good. It's very bad, very shameful. I just couldn't really lock into the last couple of conversations that we had, so. Side effects, being alone is not the worst thing in the world. It's quite freeing. I have been alone for, I live with my best friend, so like I kind of count her family and friends like kind of as friends, but they're basically internet friends because I never see them in person. But other than that, I've been relatively alone for at least like a year. I have 1 friend that I talk to on a regular basis outside of the person I live with, so. I used to be terrified of being alone. Well and truly thought that was worse than death. And then I started reevaluating my life and went, you know what? Maybe not. Exciting news! My dots still line up between the pocket and the actual apron part. This is the very big moment. That doesn't usually happen. Oh. Dude, I feel like half the people that were working remote already were, you know, like, cool, and the other half that had to go remote were like, hooray! I was working at a veterinary hospital at the time. I had to go to work. We were considered mandatory necessity. We had to go in. And it was fine. I actually had to keep a piece of paper in my card in case the popo pulled me over and like, you're not supposed to be going to work. Like, yeah, I think I am. There's dogs that need to be anesthetized, bud. I never got pulled over, but I was ready to argue my case. That's for sure. This is one of the more rewarding jobs that I had. Heck yeah. Yeah, no one at my practice, like, quit or anything. We all just screwed and showed up. And it was worth it. We had really nice clients at our hospital. You know, I mean, we did damn near anything for them within reason. And when we had like all the mask restrictions and stuff, and no, you can't stay here with your dog. You have to do a drop-off appointment because our practice was. I worked at a van field. Just to clarify, but it was very. You have to drop your dog off. Unless your dog will actively eat us, then okay, yeah, you know. Please come inside so we can sedate your dog. But even they were really chill about it. Sometimes I miss that job. I don't miss the emotional turmoil. I don't miss having to assist in pets passing. I did enjoy being there for people, like being support. That part was okay. But also the bureaucracy of where I was working at was not gold stars. And the work hours were terrible being a single mom. It's not conducive to a functioning lifestyle. There are moments where I think about, well, what if this and what if that, and would I ever go back? I still don't think I could. Mostly for the emotional. It was great. I started as just a nurse and worked my way up to shift lead and kind of assistant practice manager. Oh my god, please don't stab me in the... Okay, got it. That was almost dangerous. But I worked my way up to being a pretend assistant manager for a while. Which again, the bureaucracy of it, the actual helping animals part, that was great. And I just need a straight edge because I'm not feeling very straight edgy today. There was not to bring down the mood or anything, but I also switched to a private practice a couple of times, went back and forth wherever I felt like I needed to be at. But there were a couple of like sweet moments. people that I would absolutely love to see them and their new pets again. Like there was one guy. Oh yeah, we're getting there. I promise we're getting there. I just need to make sure I've got straight lines for sewing the pockets down, and then you'll see the sewing machine in action. I have a Molly A-line series, which is basically like a starter sewing machine almost. It has the basic stitches on it. But I'm probably about due for an upgrade here pretty soon. And I'm going to blatantly ignore the instructions that say I need to stitch close the middle pocket, because that's stupid. Why would I deny myself more pockets? Absolutely not. Not in this day and age. 2026, gosh dang it. But all I'm doing is taking some fabric chalk and drawing some lines on here so I can sew in a straight line without having to worry about the pins. Sometimes the pins mess me up a little bit. And the reason we gathered it first is because it is drawing in the fabric at the top of the pockets from the back side, and that's gonna mess with the process just a little bit. But where was I? Oh, there was one guy that his whole family came in for their cat, and everyone was crying. I started crying. I'm a very emotional person. Exactly. Preposterous shenanigans. But they were crying. I started crying. I was like, I'm so sorry you guys had to say goodbye. And I'll never forget this. He got up. He looked at me. And he said, "It's okay. In our culture," I don't remember where he said they were from. But he told me in their culture they believe that their pets wait for them in the afterlife. And it was okay because they knew that he was going to be there waiting for them when they went home. And then I cried some more. And I cried a lot. So that one was they were always so sweet. And some big freaking pockets. There was another couple at the same practice, and they had a boxer that wasn't very old, and he wasn't very old, but boxers, fun fact, will get dementia, and it can get really bad, and it can turn them into monsters is not the right word. Their life gets really hard. Yeah. My aunt really loves boxers. That is her preferred breed of dog. And both of hers ended up with dementia. Like, poor Woody would forget how to come down the stairs. Like, he would get all the way to the top of the stairs in their house and then get to the top and just start crying because he couldn't figure out how to get back down. And I think they ended up selecting humane euthanasia around when he was 6 or 8 because it was so bad. But this couple came in, their dog was starting to get dementia, and he was already kind of aggressive. I think we had him flagged in the system. And they always had to carry him around with a basket muzzle on. And I'll never forget it. I sat in the floor with them for, I think, 10 minutes beforehand, just talking. And like, you could tell that the dog was done. He was tired. He was like, "I'm over this." That was a big one. That was very emotional. And I have one more, but we're going to do the sewing machine bit first. I'm going to try and show you where I put this chalk line on here, on the cream part. He was like, "Yeah, nope, that way." So just put a line on there to make sure Literally, he just looks so like, some pets will just tell you, and you'll just know, you know. But there was one where there was this outside cat, and they thought they were gonna make this cat all better, and he had like riddled with cancer, feline leukemia, just 3 paws out the door. And the family was like, we cannot afford to put this cat through chemotherapy. They couldn't do it. There was no way. It was going to be thousands of dollars, probably, plus a trip to the specialty hospital. And oh shit, I forgot to change the stitch. Biscuits. It's okay. Easy fix. Easy fix. Well, I'm searching for my stitch thing. You know what? I don't have the energy for this. Shorten it and go over it. It's fine. But that one was really rough. Because we heard this little girl reading a letter she had written to the cat. And me and the doctor that were there, we just looked at each other and just was looking at death. Like, I don't know if you saw the Puss in Boots movie, but like that, was looking at death and just going, it's fine. But we heard this little girl reading this letter she had written to the cat about how much she loved him, and me and the doctor we made eye contact and just, that was the moment where I really started to consider if I could continue being in the field. Last one that I was there for was, again, very aggressive dog, because I loved mean dogs. It was crazy rough. Dogs are usually mean for a reason, even if it's just a mental thing. Not to say cats are complete jerks, but dogs usually have a reason. And this woman called, I think, 5 times within a week, maybe 6, and all she wanted to do was get on the phone and talk to me, because her pit bull was, I think, also starting to come up with the dementia, and it took 6 phone calls for them to finally come in. Bless them. And then the whole family showed up and we all cried together. It was rough. But gosh, I don't know. Yes, briefly. So I had a very good friend recommend to me reading Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson. And I'm not going to say what happened, but I cried, like real big girl cried, extra sad, tragic, didn't see it coming, shot to the stomach. I was mad, and I messaged him I was mad, and then I put the book down, and then I had to pick it back up and told him I was mad again. It was the worst. That book has given me big girl tears. Yeah, that pit bull was rough. I mean, I looked at him through the door, and he started lunging. But that pit bull had started to try and eat aunts, uncles, grandma, the ex-husband, and the final straw was her daughter. He lunged at her one time, and she was like, I can't do this anymore, and I was like, a story graph? What the hell's a story graph? I'd like to know more about this concept. But as far as the pit bull situation went, the family was super nice. We were all crying, and I felt so bad because I forgot to take their. Usually we try and take payment stuff before we do the actual procedure, so that way they don't have to hang around and deal with money after that. And I forgot, and I felt so bad. And I'm at the register like crying, and I think it was their grandma or their aunt came up and hugged me, and they were like, "You've been so nice to do." And I started crying some more, and then I had to go hide because it was the end of the day. The story graph. I'm gonna look it up right now. Oh, okay. Someone on Reddit asked if it was better than Goodreads. So I take it as a much better version of Goodreads. Someone posted on Reddit, someone probably agreed. That's good to know. My sister's really into tracking her books and stuff, so I'm gonna download it and take a look at it and see if that is something she would be interested in. That noise was not ideal, but it's fine. The bobbin just got stuck on the fabric foot thread. It's fine. The thread didn't break and it's still sewing. Yeah, no data Bezos. That asshole. Yeah, I like that. What time is it? 1:45. Okay. I need you to know it is 2:45 a.m. for me. And usually I cut off around 3. So this is your 15-minute warning. Because I do like the concept of sleep. Despite the fact that I am not tired at all. Let's try. But we have pockets, people. Yeah, my sleep schedule's atrocious. Okay, so we have pockets. Massive pockets. It acted like it wanted me to sew this center one down. And I think that's dumb. So we're not going to do that. We got big pockets for nefarious purposes. I could fit a book in there. Shit. This is about to be part of an outfit. this is about to be outside of the housewear. Cottage core, farmer's market core. Hell yeah. Getting back to my roots. Because I did used to live on a farm. Thanks! I made them myself. I did actually used to live on a farm. It's a true story. My parents had cows that went off for... What were they? Black Angus? That feels right. And brown Angus? Oh yeah. I've had to chase chickens before. I came from the backwoods. I live in a subdivision right now. It is not it. I hate it. People, because the street is public, so people can park wherever they want to. And people sometimes park in front of my house, and it stresses me out. Because where I'm from, where I used to live, if people park in front of your house, you need to go get some utensils from the inside that require licensing. Bullets. So like, so I keep my windows open all day and the front door open so I can see what's going on outside because it still gives me anxiety despite living here since 2018. It's better than it used to be. I have mixed feelings. Like, I used to. I had to take it out of the house because I was not safe with equipment being in the house. I've gone through a couple of rough patches where it was just not safe for me to have those things in here. And I'm just not prepared for that at all. But I have lots of sharp things. And I do know enough self-defense to be a functional person, so. But also my neighbors all know I'm up streaming till 3 o'clock in the morning on Fridays. And I don't sleep a lot. And I'm always outside. And I do tend to just stare threateningly at people, and so they walk fast. Not that I'm a very scary person. Obviously, I'm a very nice person. I do have RBF, though. It has gotten me very far in life. Oh my god, we're done with Unit 1. We're on Unit 2. There's only 2 units for the half bib. Yeah, I have very mixed feelings about it. Like, nah, we don't have to get into it. But, oh yeah, well, my dad had several pieces, and he left me his, I don't have it anymore, because again, I couldn't have it in the house. It was a government issued Colt 86. Came in a blue case. It was very nice. I got to shoot it one time. I've used that in the shotgun once, just so I know how to use it. BB gun a couple times. You made the other thing? Me and my sister learned how to use the big one. Yeah, he actually made. Oh, very classic. And like our neighbors across the street were meth heads or something. It was a whole thing. But it was funny to me when my dad told me the story. But when he's passed away at this point, my mom remarried. But her first husband, when they got married, he had told my mom, "You have to learn how to use one thing." And Mom's like, "I'm gonna learn how to use the shotgun because if someone's that close to me, I need to be able to just hit it." And like she said she needed to not be able to miss, and I was like, you know what, good for you, Mom. Not bad. I didn't mind. Granted, that was many moons ago. Yeah, she likes good spread. That was a long time ago. I was a teenager. And I'm 32 now. It's been a while since I've had a piece in my hand. It's been a good while. Okay, I'll do all the sign-up stuff for that later. I didn't download the app, because I do have opinions on things I need to put in there. Ah, fuck it. I might stay up late and finish this, because we're almost done. Okay. This needs to go to the side. It's funny, Mom, she never had to use it. Never really wanted to. And she was always so mad that he had it in the house. And granted, Dad had a very nice gun safe. And I think he was the only person that had a key for it, or it had a combination lock. So, like, it was... Oh, this is my dress form. She just had many names. I'm probably going to rename her as soon as I resize it again. So this was a gift from my mom 2 Christmases ago. So I use it to hang up pattern things to make sure things are going to size appropriately. So, for example, this fancy needles, fancy pins. So the green is kind of sticky, and it'll hold some lighter things to it, okay? But it's over a plastic form, so you can pin your crap on here and actually see how it's gonna look. So I love doing this with pattern pieces to make sure it's actually gonna fit, because it's, for the most part, adjusted to my body. I'm in the middle of going through some body recomp. So I've been going to the gym really hard. So I had actually put on adjustment hip and bust pieces, because everything was sitting different. And when I had made that dress, it was so loose. I was so mad. I had to take everything off, and it was a whole thing. So now she's closer to my actual size and height and everything. So it's like a little duplication of moi. Yeah, it looks so stinking cute. And it's really cool. But yeah, she will probably go through a few more resizings this year. So I've been going to the gym consistently for about a year. in the last 6 months, I have put an egregious effort on strength training. So I like to go and lift heavy things. So I do your flat press, your flat bench press, your incline bench press, full depth squats, deadlifts. Like I do that, plus I do all the other little things to help work the individual muscle groups because I would like to be strong. I want to be able to pick up my kid and run out of the burning building when she's 18 years old. Like I need that for me. And some of that is just a pure burning desire. I also put on muscle really quick, but also has a little bit to do with some childhood issues. Anyways, I really like being strong. I have tried, in my 32 years of life, at least 4 different straight diets, and it was terrible. Weight yo-yo. It was horrible. And so I finally decided last year, I was like, I'm just going to be strong and see what happens. And then I started noticing I was doing something. And so I put in effort for 6 months to build up a good bit of muscle to the point where you can start to see it underneath the fat. And it is now beltane in spring, summertime. So I'm doing a little bit of a calorie deficit while still putting in the effort to continue putting on muscle as I can. There are mixed reviews on if you can do both at the same time, and if you can still build muscle while you're doing a calorie deficit, and it's 50-50, which is okay. But I'm trying. And everything is slowly melting away, which means this is going to get adjusted 20 billion times. And that's okay. I'm not trying to be skinny. I've tried that too many times. I'm just trying to deadlift 500 pounds by December. That sounds like a good plan. It is awesome. I love going to the gym. It's therapeutic in every sense of the word. I put on my headphones and I listen to all kinds of stuff. So some days I'll be really into rap. Shit, I cut this wrong. Anyway. Okay, I didn't cut it wrong. I just cut it kind of this same way, but I shouldn't have done it that way. I'm trying to decide how I want to fix this. I'm gonna fix it the easy way, which is to just cut the corner on the other side. Yeah. Beep, 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 beep. Cheating. That's the way. And gym. Love the gym. Oh, and I picked up rowing for cardio because I'm a psychopath, apparently. Who does that? I tried running, and it's not that I don't like running. I don't like running on a treadmill. I hate running in place. I hate running having to look at a freaking TV. You put me in the woods with a good pair of shoes, I'm gone. Freedom. Yeah. I realized that I wanted the pattern to match, and the way this was going, it wasn't going to match, so I had to make some adjustments. Little oopsie poopsie. And then to make it match, I'm just going to trim the other side. I don't feel like I'm getting enough out of cycling. I get bored really fast, and it's just pedals. And my grandma had a cycle thing when I was a kid, and I used to use it, and I hated it then, I hate it now. I just don't like it. And I know that's such a whiny way to say it, but And I used to do the elliptical because when I first started going to the gym, my knees hurt, and some of that was just constantly being on my knees at the vet hospital on concrete floor. It's usually concrete floor. Yeah, exactly. If I'm not having a good time, I don't need to be doing it. That's my motto. It's just not worth it. But I got fed I think I got fed the rowing subreddit one day, and I was like, well, what is this? How terrible is this? And then I looked it up. I'm like, this looks terrible. I have to try it. Like, it can't be that hard. And then it was freaking hard. Oh yeah, I'm all sustainability. I'm about it. Yeah, I'm not gonna say my form is great now. There are moments where it's still rough. But if I'm just rowing... It do be the witching hour. Almost. That's normal. Cat's just being silly. But yeah, if I'm just rowing for fun, like I'm not trying to do the P plan thing or anything, I think I usually hit about 22 to 25 strokes a minute. Which isn't bad. Certainly not competition level or anything. It's not bad. The P plan is what all the bougie rower people use to just get good or get ready for competitions. And I use a very short version of it. Hot take. Anything's dangerous if you're doing it stupid. That's just my prerogative on it. But I would say it's the one thing that I have seen people say you can actually get kind of hurt from is your hip flexors snapping, popping aggressively, which I had happen to me for a little bit. Turns out I wasn't engaging my core the right way. So the way you're supposed to go is like you start all the way close up to the edge. Is you push with your legs, you lean, your arms are straight the whole time, but you're up like this, and you push with your legs, and then you lean back a little bit, and then you pull your arms, and your arms go back out, and then your top comes forward, and then your legs come back. I have very strong legs, so like my legs are, but my top half is like, because I have a weak core. And I'm actively working on it, despite not liking core exercises, but they must be done. But how I found this out was I only get it on the left side, but my hip flexor will pop, and it feels it just feels like a tendon is constantly going thunk, 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 and it was only happening on the swinging up movement. And I was like, am I dying? Am I doing something wrong? Let me go to Reddit first. And the consensus was like, your form's probably ass. I was like, okay, I can fix that. The other people were like, yeah. The other people were like, no, but actually you can genuinely hurt yourself and snap your hip flexor and have to have surgery. And I was like, okay. So I fixed my form very quickly after that, and it's been a lot better. Also, stretching beforehand and doing free-up exercises is great. I am a survivalist swimmer. I'm not going to die. It's not going to look pretty. And that is because I did not get swim lessons as a child. My swim lesson was on a... Oh, that's terribly dusty from this fabric. I need to clean this soon. Okay, yeah, I can just say this. I remember being a child. Before my sister was born or after? Somewhere between 6 and 10. Right, like, I can float really good, and I can do a decent breaststroke and a backstroke. Don't ask me to do anything fancy, though. And I wanted to go to the deep end of the pool. Mind you, no swim lessons. And because my cousins were on the deep end. And my cousin Laura is older than me, and my cousin Brian is a little bit younger. And Granddad was like, can you float? I remember crying. He was like, lay on your back, starfish. I was like, alright, great. Stay there for 10 seconds. Okay. Float from this side to this side. Okay. You can go to the deep end. That was my swimming lesson. And, you know, I'm not saying it was great grandparenting. But my granddad also served in World War II. So, he didn't play around Oh, he was not about it. We did a lot of camper trips with them when I was younger. He and my grandma unfortunately passed away on that side. All my grandparents have passed away. But anyways, our big summer thing was always me and the cousins. We'd all get in the camper and we'd go on road trips and stuff. And we went up to DC one year. I'll never forget it. I was theoretically dying of thirst. I was also a dramatic being. Yeah, so. And we were walking, I was like, Grandma, I'm thirsty, drink. And he found a rock. A granite rock. And he made sure it was relatively clean. And he said, put this in your mouth, drink your spit. And so, to this day, I always have a water bottle in the car. I just realized that is why I'm so adamant about having a water bottle all the time. Dude, it was wild behavior. I feel like there was something else happening that he could not communicate to me in that moment. That trip was just me and my cousin Laura, because that was our solo trip. I got to go on 3 trips. I got to go on one with Laura, I got to go on one with Brian, and then we got to go all 3 together. So I got 3 trips a year. So I don't know if I was just being that much of a little shithead that day, or what. He did. I was. He has some opinions. It also explains why my mommy is the way that she is, but we don't have time for that. Not have time for all the mommy issues. Yeah, they were still really great trips. Like, I have very fond memories of those trips. That was just wild behavior. But then he also did really cool things, like let me work at the truck shop, super legally, cleaning and running invoices. So I learned how to do invoicing when I was, I think, 13 or 14. I don't even think people use Peachtree anymore. Hell yeah. Do what we can with what we got. Yeah, no one uses Peachtree anymore. That's really freaking unfortunate. I love Peachtree. It's easy to use. It's easy enough for a 14-year-old to do it. But they were the tough grandparents. But they had a very cool history. I think it was grandma's grandparents. Come on, grandma's grandparents. I don't know. My mom's great-great-grandparents came over on a boat and lived in New York for a long time. My mom used to work in a restaurant up there when she was a kid. And my great-aunt Lee still lives in New York, around the lake. Dad's grandparents, they were the soft grandparents. They also had farming with cows. Definitely got a lot more valuable life lessons out of that. For sure. Alright, we have a waistband and ties. So, yeah. It's the actual important bit. Will it fit? Yes, it will, and there is room for extra. Thank goodness. I gotta check these things, because mind you, this is a 1960 pattern. No, oddly it doesn't. And I think it's because it's a very soft light. It's actually about the same, it's a little bit darker of a tint than the ring light. It's very yellowed. That also probably has to do with the machine being old, but because the machine is not actually bright white, it's more of like a cream eggshell color type deal, the light diffuses a little bit better, so it's not just immediately blanching back in my face. Also, the metal plate that's on here, let me show you. There's a metal plate that's around the foot, and the plate is matte, so that's not reflecting a lot either. It's just kind of there. So no, this doesn't bother me at all. I can sit here and sew for hours. before I get a headache. My headaches are usually I forget to drink water induced. Do I need to intervene, or are you two gonna be okay? Bubby, don't you dare. Don't do it. That was about to be a big fight. Okay, cool. I'm not gonna lie, the quality looks so crap on OBS. I don't know if you can see it. Pin. Are we gonna do another flipperoni thing? Jesus Christ, I'm back. Okay. Alright. Okay. We're gonna stop while we're ahead. What's left to do? Pin the wrong side of the apron. Okay, so we have to pin the band to the apron bit. Adjust, gathers to fit, baste, stitch, trim, press. Again, no. Fold, tie ends in half.
I know he's being so mean to you for no good reason.
My goodness. Here's the thing. That's a bonded pair. The stream looks fine. Oh, thank God. Thank you. Thank you for saying so. They sound like they hate each other. They were living together at the shelter when my bestie got them. And she wanted the gray one, which he has chosen to run away aggressively before I could pick him up, because he knows he's in trouble. And the orange one came with. And they were like, we swear they came from the same family and they're bonded and they love each other and And there was a third cat for a while, but he unfortunately passed away. And sometimes these two idiots just get into it so bad. I'm like, y'all gotta be kidding me. Okay. I have gathered this way more than I probably should. So here's where we're gonna leave this for tonight. Cause, love ya. I can feel Hypnos knocking on my window, telling me it's about time for sleep. What we're gonna do is we're going to use the dress form for its intended purposes and pin this so I can see how much I need to ungather the bottom bit, and my ears are ringing and stuff on that. If it sounds like I'm saying a bunch of weird It is my one, man, I really should get that covered up tattoo. It's a Cheshire cat smile. Both of my back tattoos are from when I was 19 years old. I've never had them touched up, never had them filled in. I don't even know that the artist that did them works at either of the tattoo shops I went to anymore. So at this point, the cat needs to be done better. It was a 30-minute tattoo job, I'm pretty sure. I was sitting upright on the edge of a table, because I wasn't even planning on getting a tattoo that day. I didn't even have the money for it. My boyfriend at the time's friend paid for it. Yes, I did. Hang on, let me do a little spin. Because the flowers held up pretty dang good. There used to be orange yellow in there, but my skin ate it in the sunshine. But the purple held really, really good, so I don't know. Like, I would love to get the flowers recolored. Get the purple touched up, maybe get some highlight in there one day. And go from there. I'll have to take out so much of this gather. It's gonna hurt my feelings, but it's okay. Must be done. I'm just undoing some of the ruffles. They're hibiscus flowers. I don't know why. I just thought they looked cool. But I have a list of tattoos that I genuinely want. Yeah, I think it depends on the artist and the colors and how well you take care of your tattoos. I did not take good care of my tattoos after I got them. And like time. There's so many things that can affect the color. Because I've seen some color tattoos age really, really well. And for as little effort as I put into mine, the purple looked great. In the grand scheme of things, I'm not mad about the purple one. Really not even mad about the yellow orange. Because I have like green undertones, like olive skin. So I think they just naturally sunk, fell out, what have you. But what I wanted to do for my back, just a pipe dream at this point, is to do a full Alice in Wonderland back. And I had this grand dream that I was going to have, because the Cheshire Cat face that I do have is, like, yeah, like, I think I have a really weird skin tone. It's kind of olive skin, like, I have green undertones, so, like, if I put on my green light on my ring light, I almost look normal colors. Okay, this is making me look stupid white. I promise you I'm not actually pasty. Hold on. I promise I'm not. I promise. Something else I like a lot. Less pasty. There we go. That's... I promise you it's the ring light. But also I did stay inside all winter, so I have to work the tan back up. But I do tan very well. My legs are really white. I'm not going to lie about that one. But I promise you it is the ring light playing tricks. Reach. Reach. Okay, there we go. I say, if you care to look at the blue sky, I promise you I look tan in pictures I post on the internet. No filters, because I don't do that. Unless it's specifically like monochrome or something. I do not use colored filters to adjust my skin tone. Or looks in general. I don't even like using Snapchat filters. Mostly because they always, like, do weird shit to my nose and it pisses me off. I love my nose and it always tries to make it skinnier and pointier and just weird. It's irritating to all hell. Exactly. Little chirp chirps in the corner. And reach. Okay. Alright, I think that's about all the mental fortitude that I have for today. You're telling me? That shit's wild. And like, I'm pretty sure there's like one of the ones that kind of looks like the looks maxing crap going around. And I put it on just to see. Gag. Okay. I have pulled out the gathers so it lines up with the edges of the waistband, so it won't look silly. There's a lot of actually paying attention to what I'm doing that I don't have the mental fortitude to deal with right now. Also, my toes are cold and my nose is cold because the window's open. But it's mostly done. It is mostly done. Which means I will be able to wear it soon, which is exciting. And honestly, now that it's up, the orange doesn't look terrible. I might still stain it. very carefully. Actually, you know what? I might just be brave and go get some RIT dye, some brown RIT. What do I still have to do? Oh, it's pretty fucking dope. Okay, so what is left, according to the instructions, is pinning the, okay, so the next thing I've got to do, now that I've got the edges where they need to be, it didn't want me to do that first, but I did it because it makes me happy, is pin the back side of the apron bit to the right side of the band. So the back side of this actually needs to get pinned to the top of this. Because how I did the pocket where it folded back over to the front, the same thing's going to happen with the band. And I love that. I'm going to use that for more shit in the future. Okay. And then after that gets pinned, place side edges of apron and small dots and band. Well, yeah. That part is relevant because I just stretched out all together. Adjust gathers to fit based stitch. So after I move this up here, pin, pin, pin. I'm so glad I did this because all I'll have to do is just slowly unpin the apron piece and just move it up to pin to the band. And then I can take it off, base stitch it, which is just using a really long stitch to get it kind of together to make sure everything lines up right, and then I'll go back over it and do the final stitch. And then we trim the seam. We will pretend to press the band forward. And then it says fold band over. So we'll fold it over the front. And tie the ends in half lengthwise. I think that's just to hold it together. Right sides together. Stitch to small dots. And trim seam corners. Okay, what I really have left to do is to understand exactly 2 sentences. 3. Well, 2, because I understand what trim seam and corners means. Fold band and tie ends in half length. Oh! Okay. Tie ends. Not literally tie the ends, but the tie ends. Yeah, minor functionality adjustments. Okay. Move this up, pin, take it off, base stitch. Trim. Everything gets folded in half, and then it gets folded over. Okay. Everything gets folded in half, right sides together. Stitch, trim, and then it gets turned over. Because I'll be looking at the back side of the band. Hold on. So I'm looking at the back side of the band. These instructions don't make any sense. I am not comprehending what's asking me to do. So, we're going to set it and forget it. 15 minutes before. Shh. Time knows no bounds here. Time is a construct created by man. In order to keep down the lower class and convince them that they have to do things for the rest of their lives on a legitimate schedule instead of doing what they need to do when they need to do it, when their body says it's time to do it. Anyways, I have big concept. Exactly. Time is a construct. It means nothing. Literally. Like, people used to just move with the sun and the seasons. Like, time is corporate propaganda. It's corporate propaganda and it's garbage. It's my mini rant for the day. That's very cool that you play bass. I used to play guitar when I was younger. I mean, I guess technically I can still play. I just don't have a guitar anymore. I do still have a trumpet and piano. They're very out of tune. Yeah, I could do this for hours. Oh, happy spot. Okay, so you know how some people were made to be awake during the daytime and some people were made to be awake during the nighttime? I would definitely be a third shift kind of gal if I had to watch the campfire at night. Funny considering I have crap eyesight. Like, my vision's not great. I don't need my glasses when I'm sewing. I generally just put it on for fun. But I do wear them at night, and if it's weather, like if it's raining or snowing or whatever, I'll for sure put them on. But outside of that, I do not wear my glasses because I can see well enough. I'm not legally blind or anything like that, so it's not that tragic. But I would have a hard time understanding dog from wolf in complete darkness, but I think most people would at this point. I'm convinced they're being silly because it's the witching hour and also Beltane. It do be magical out there. Because they were not this active last Friday. And it's a full moon. All of these things should be taken into account. But I do my best to follow like the pagan calendar essentially. So I'm just gonna yap while I clean up a little bit before I shut it down. So like it's the midpoint between spring and summer solstice, which is pretty great. Very fire energy, very raw. So I did burn some of my fun fancy incense earlier. It's full enough. It's full enough that I could have cut off my lights on my car to drive home from the gym. It was pretty close. I had major knee shenanigans then, I feel it too. Alright. But the really cool news is we can put this back in here because we do not need it for the rest of this process. And we won't need anything else out of here until we decide if we're doing a bandana or not, which I think I will. It needs a bandana to go with it. It's a must. It has to happen. I will make it so. Trash can. They will be shenanigans though. Absolute shenanigans. Now, while I'm here, what are the bandana instructions? Are they terrible? Scarf U4. Okay. It calls it a scarf. It's a bandana. Fight me. For leatherette fabrics. Ooh. Careful not to use a hot iron as leather available. Yes, we know. Oh! Oh, we're making a scarf next time. You fold the triangle in half. I like that. I like that a lot. The bag is also just a rectangle, mind you. Or a square. Scarf. Where's the scarf? Apron V3. Where's the scarf cut out? Come on now. 20 peak. Yes, I see your 20 peak. Okay, that's for something I'm not dealing with today. Shoulder strap, pocket, apron. One of the, okay, T. It is a triangle. It is a triangle that you cut on the fold. So it's a square. Yeah, we're making it. Gosh dang it. Just so you understand exactly how much extra fabric I have left of this. Like we got a lot we can do. This is all just scrap pieces that are varying lengths but at least as long as the apron is right now, and I've got at least 5 of those left. Plus this, okay, I have like 10 of those left, plus a couple of random frou-frou pieces. Plus I still have about a yard left. Like, enough to make a long apron? Yeah, no, there was a lot of this. There was so much. I'm very thankful. But we're going to try and use it all up. We're going to do our best. And once we get through the bandana, finish this, I have the child fabric coming in theoretically for the jacket, and if I decide not to use the ripstop for the raincoat, I'm going to use the ripstop for myself and go search for vinyl. We've got that. I've got dress stuff for me, dress stuff for the other thing. Tops. I'm basically trying to sew my wardrobe for this year. And I still need to make a dust cover for the sewing machine. That really needs to get turfed to the top of the list. So I will consider maybe doing that off stream. And what else do I need to do for you guys? For you for next week. I need to upload this to YouTube, make the other video public. Yeah, I think I linked my YouTube in my profile. So it's in there. And I think that's it. But that's a wrap for today. I'm tired. My toes are cold. But priority number 1 next week is fixing the apron. Yes, I stream every Friday, 1 to 3 a.m. or 3:30. Close enough. But that's a wrap. I appreciate you hanging out and chatting, though. It was a good time. It's crazy, but it works because I'm gonna sleep until 9 o'clock in the morning, so it's okay, and probably take a nap. And I promise you I won't be awake too much longer because I made sure to drink my uncaffeinated tea. Because I managed to get a box of 25 at Lidl for like $3. Yeah, I hope you can come back next Friday. Because we'll finish that, we'll work on the headpiece thing, and that probably won't take long. We'll probably have time to start cutting out something else, to be honest with you. So I've got 3 things on the sidebar. 3 or 4. Oh yeah, the workout stuff. I think I was going to work on the workout stuff too. Not that dress though. Ew. Not that top. Ew. Where's that other dress? Or the wrap skirt. Oh, I have so many patterns. I have so many patterns and so much fabric. I have like two huge totes in the closet still. But anyways, I'm gonna cut it. I hope you have a wonderful evening and a fantastic weekend, and everything goes your way. Got literal kid in a candy shop. Can't get better than this. Yep. You too. Sleep on good night.